Hi there, this is going to be a simple walkthrough of how to set up a new satellite connector based off of an existing ODBC database connection for planning analytics on cloud customers. This is not from IBM, so this is just my experience sharing to help the community. So first we want to start with logging into PAW administration, navigating to the satellite connector section. For this demo, I've already set up a connection I just called it my DSN, and I'll go through how I was able to set this up or migrate this to the new setup. So here I want to create my connector. I'm going to create my connector, just give it a name. I'm going to call it dev. It's going to create that connector for me. You see it's created that. Take another moment for it to show up. I'm going to click here, refresh my screen. Now I'll see this show up as dev. At first it's going to say that it's down, which is correct. Nothing's really happened yet. The next step is going to be actually skipping over the endpoints. I'm not actually going to do the endpoints yet. I'm going to do the connector agents first. So I have to download the connector agent. I'm on Windows, so I download it for Windows. Going to find this one here. So I've downloaded that. I'm also going to download my agent configuration file. I'm going to give this a name. I'm going to call this dev. I got a config.json file. I'm also going to generate and download a new API key. Go ahead and recreate it. Recreate and download. That's going to give me my API key with no suffix. And now I can navigate over to my downloads folder. In my downloads folder, I see these three things. I'm going to extract out the client. Now that that's all extracted, I'm actually going to move this file, this whole folder, out of my download section. Just going to cut that, and I'm going to move it onto the root. So now it's in here. Now when I go into this folder, I'm going to see I already have a config.json in here. Now if I open this one up, I'm going to see that it's kind of blank. It's not really helpful at the moment. So I could craft it manually if I want, but it's nice that there's already the file I can download. So I'm going to grab these two here, the API key and the JSON. I'm going to cut those, paste them into the same folder. I'll replace the existing config.json. And also if I edit this one now and look at it, I'm going to see I'm going to have the satellite connector stuff is filled out. But one thing I noticed is it doesn't actually fill out the API. It gets this thing here. So there's a subtle step that I need to do here is I need to take this API key, open this one up in Notepad. From this API key, I need to copy this guy, go back to that file here, and then remove out this path. This path is not really going to help me. I need to move that out, paste my API key in here, and now I can save this. So now I've got my API key in my updated json.config. I can close out some of the other files I have open. I can even get rid of this API key file. So I've just got my config.json file with my API key in it. So now the next step is I'm going to go over to run the install in this new folder that I've moved over here. So I'm going to open up a command prompt. And from a command prompt here, I'm going to navigate to that new folder. Just check, hey, what's in here? Yep, it has all the right things. And I know there's an install.cmd file in here. Before I run it, I'm going to take a zip back to the PAW admin and see where we're at here. So if I look at my dev satellite connector, so right now it's saying it's down. I've got no endpoints, and I've got no connector agents. Okay, going back to my command prompt here. I'm going to run install. Is my my JSON config updated? Yes, it is. I'm going to hit yes and continue. It'll spin through a few things. And now I'm back here. So now I think I'm done with the command portion piece. So now if I come back to PAW admin, now look at this. I see I've got my satellite connector showing now as online. I still don't have any endpoints, but I have a connector agent showing up, which happens to be this machine. Now let's go to endpoints, DSN. Oh, I can't call it my DSN like that, so I'll just do my DSN. I'm going to pause it here while I enter the different pieces for the database connection. After entering my details, I can see it's going to start creating the endpoint. Looks like the endpoint was created. Setting up a new one. I can also import one. So what if I import one? Import this guy. Import successful. This one does have an underscore, which is interesting.